Moving on, a Florida woman. Speaking of intelligent moves, a Florida woman was arrested this week when she made the decision to call police to report a friend had stolen her marijuana. Not only did she have marijuana with her when cops arrived, they also found that she had 2 active outstanding warrants. For those of you that don't see the video broadcast, this is me staring at the camera with a face of, where do these people come from? Anyway, according to the police report obtained that documented the woman's ordeal, Stewart police responded to a call about stolen property at a Best Western hotel. Let me tell you, if your story starts at the Best Western hotel, chances are it's only going to go downhill from there. During the time, let's see what happened at the Best Western. They found we won't use her name, it doesn't matter. They found the lady or woman, whatever, who gave them the play-by-play of how the theft went down. She was, quote-unquote, hanging out with her, quote-unquote, friend Carlos, whom she had known for all of a week at the Best Western that night. During the time they hung out, she had approximately $30 worth of weed with her. After Carlos left, she looked in her container and believed about half a gram was missing. The only thing she could think to do was to call the police. The police asked her for identification, only to find out she was wanted on 2 outstanding warrants, one for missing a court hearing and the other for not appearing to a probation violation for a DUI earlier this year. So, yeah. If someone steals your weed, apparently it's not legal for her to possess there. Do you really think calling the cops is a good idea? You know, we always hear about the Florida man. This was a Florida woman. I don't know what in the world goes on. I've spent a good amount of time in Florida, especially in the Fort Walton Beach, Pensacola areas. Absolutely beautiful. Several good steakhouses went to there. Went to a 3-Dog Night reunion concert there. That was pretty interesting. I didn't really see a lot of this crazy behavior, but these are stories that pop up regularly with the Florida man and the Florida woman deal. So she was taken to the Martin County Jail and held with no bond. Well, I guess she lost the rest of her weed too. This reminds me of an episode of Cops. So for those of you that are young, you may not be aware of the show Cops. Before we had social media and TikTok and Instagram and X or Twitter and all these other, different things where anybody could just put, live or unfiltered, uncensored content online. The only place you could really see these wild police chases and takedowns was on a show called Cops. And when you heard that theme song, Bad Boys by Inner Circle, come on, you knew you were in for a good time because these were, it was the Wild Wild West. And this is before, people started getting overly sensitive to, let's just say, the use of force in police applications. So things got pretty wild and woolly sometimes. And this reminds me, sorry, I don't want my coffee to get cold. This reminds me of an episode I saw once where you see these 2 women in a pretty rough looking part of town. Okay. The cops show up and they go over to the first woman and she's the one that called the police. And the cop says to her, he goes, okay, you called you called us. What's going on? And she goes, well, I gave this lady over here $20 for something and she won't give my money back. And you can tell by the part of town that they're in and the way these folks are dressed and looking and acting and talking. You can look this up on YouTube, by the way. It's an easy clip to find. That, the cop knows what's going on. And so he asks her, he goes, well, what's the money for? And she says, it could be for anything. It doesn't matter what the money's for. She goes, well, she won't give him my $20 back. And the cop asks her, he says, well, did you come down here to buy drugs? And she goes, yes, I came down to buy crack rock.